in between the legs. It's in the news. It's happening. Sexual assault is being normalized. We're being bathed in a ritual. How did it get to this? How the hell do you think it got to this? We've been putting up with so many lies the government's been throwing at us. So many people believe the official conspiracy theory of 9/11. There are some people that know the truth and don't believe they have any power to change it. And that's a big, big chunk of people. Yeah, I know. So what? What are you going to do about it? Powerlessness, victim consciousness, state of being. That's not where we want to vibrate on or vibrate at just because we're aware of this information. But we have to remember, we have to look at what caused this, how we got here, and it's not the TSA operating independently, which is where a lot of people are at psychologically. Oh, the TSA, random perverts that are working in uniform. If the government doesn't disqualify someone from employment if they've been convicted of sexual assault or rape, that should tell you something. And they're pushing forward. Oh, it's no longer the back of the hand, it's the front of the hand. And they want to feel those nipples. They want to make sure you're not going to bomb someone with your nipples. It's getting very clear, it's getting very direct, and it's getting very personal. All right, I'm going to get up and get some water for a moment. Bill, let's go ahead and play the next track. And this is from Russia Today, dealing with Senate Bill 510.
About this, as well as the Food Modernization Act, George Hebinger, founder of the Survive and Thrive TV. Hey there, George. Let's talk first about the Senate Bill S510. On your website, you voice your opinion about U.S. food and U.S. farms being put under the control of the Departments of Homeland Security and Defense, as is said to happen in this bill. In the bill, it says that they want to do this in the event of contamination. Talk to me about what you think about this.
Well, I've read a summary of the bill, and you just have to look at who are the people opposing this bill and who are the people that are supporting it. If you look at the people that are opposing it, it's local farms, organic farms, raw food groups. If you look at the people supporting it, it's the corporate agribusiness giants and associations like General Mills and other groups and associations. So, once again, this is a bill designed for the corporate government monopolies. And considering the economic situation right now, it's totally absurd.
In the bill also, a removal of the right to clean and store seeds. I mean, isn't that what every parent loves to do with their kid, is, grow vegetables in the garden? Why and how could this possibly be against the law if this bill passes?
Well, what we're seeing with this economic collapse in America, is, especially in California, you're seeing a huge growth in local farms and, people just trying to live and produce food to eat. And they're getting a surplus and they're selling that to their friends and family and neighbors. Now, what this bill does is it seeks to regulate, control, and eventually kill these small farmers.
There also seems to be, just switching gears to the government aspect of this a little bit, there seems to be a lot of revolving doors. I mean, we are in Washington, but several names of people who used to work for Monsanto are here, including, on the Supreme Court, Justice Clarence Thomas. We see people in the FDA who used to work for Monsanto. What do you think about all this?
This is just one in many steps our government has taken to partner with the big, large corporations. I mean, this is a sense of, this is fascism, this is corporatism, and it's leading to the destruction of our economy. I think eventually, at some point, just like what happened in Iceland, the people are going to have to rise up and physically take these people out of office and stop what's going on in this country. It's just getting utterly ridiculous when you can't even grow your own food.
I think it's pretty interesting. We've seen over the last few years many people blaming diseases that are much more prevalent over the last 10 years, things like autism, ADHD, new forms of cancer. They're blaming these on everything else, from vaccinations to air pollution. But not a lot of people seem to be pointing their finger at GMOs. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, these large businesses, these agricultural corporations, They lobby Congress. And what else could be more natural about growing your own food? Growing your own food should be as natural as eating your own food. But what you have here is large corporations doing whatever they can to monopolize the distribution of food and to control it because they want more profit. They want to make more money. And I think what you're going to see as we see this depression take hold in America, you're going to see people starve because they won't be able to afford the food that's coming strictly from the corporations. We should have diversification of the food supply, not centralization of it.
Certainly a scary thought, too, to think that all of this genetically modified organisms are in 70%. Such a high number. George Heminger, founder of Survive and Thrive TV.
From the World Health Organization, what do we see from them? Codex Alimentarius. Control over the food supply and world government. This is written by Brandon Tuberville, posted at Activist Post. Contrary to popular belief, Codex Alimentarius is neither a law nor a policy. It is, in fact, a functioning body, a commission, created by the Food and Agricultural Organization and the World Health Organization, under the direction of the United Nations. The confusion in this regard is largely due to statements made by many critics referring to the implementation of Codex Alimentarius as if it were legislation waiting to come into effect. A more accurate phrase would be the implementation of Codex Alimentarius guidelines, as it would more adequately describe the situation. Codex is merely another tool in the chest of an elite group of individuals whose goal is to create a one-world government in which they wield complete control. Power over the food supply is essential in order to achieve this. As will be discussed later, Codex Alimentarius will be implemented whenever guidelines are established and national governments begin to arrange their domestic laws, is what we're seeing with Senate Bill 510, in accordance with the standards set by the organization. And so the smart grid energy audit that's coming to other cities, we're moving to another conversation now, is also an extension of European policy, United Nations Agenda 21. Portland went along with it. There's not much awareness as to how it has nothing to do with sustainable development. But in Austin, there was some opposition down there when they voted in favor of it. And so you're talking about the ultimate surveillance society now. And what it really does is add more Wi-Fi, more transmitting frequencies over the air of Portland through this whole energy audit and through the Wi-Fi spectrum, knowing how much energy you're using and water and things of that nature. Meanwhile, corporations like Nestle are in the gorge and they're privatizing water. And so, I mean, the whole argument like they're trying to help things be sustainable and whatnot is full of crap. Because we see what's happening. And we're tired of crap being buried over there by Hanford. We're tired of our water being privatized. There's articles coming out about them criminalizing rain collection. And it's important to, of course, do the stuff anyway. Get a food storage, grow your own food, develop community, develop your own police force if there are no police. Get some seeds, talk to people, develop some sort of connection with your fellow human on whatever level. Try to do that in the streets. I try to do that when I can. There's a lot of weird places that people are in. I got to shield off a lot of stuff that people have going on with them and realize there's my stuff and where I got to be vibrating at, and then there's the rest of the world, as it is for you. We got to learn to shine and thrive in these insane times and be that hope. Inspire some of these other people. Unplug themselves from the machine. They've got to want to. And there's ways information can be presented to people to where they want to unplug, to where they see it now. They can see the darkness, they can see the blueprints, they can see the chains, they can see it, and they don't want anything to do with it, but they want something. They want to hear some positive information about what's possible. See what they do in our system? Each leader betrays us. The mainstream media, the television, lies, sex, violence all over the TV. It's a wonder some people never find this show because they've long left this box. In fact, we have an article about that. More and more people dropping their cable subscriptions. It's because of the crap that's on TV. But anyway, the point is, people get betrayed so many times, and they see so many things that they see that are against them. It's hard for some people to believe in themselves and believe in their ability to affect some kind of change. Believe me, words have power. When you say something, when you speak truth, it has power. It has an effect. Someone may not get it at that moment, but they'll get it in time when these things come to fruition, or hopefully before. But it's more than just warning people of a not too pleasant future, a reminder that we could be living another way on planet Earth today, if we will it. If we put aside our own differences, this could be a completely different world overnight. But it's a collective shift. But individually, we got to remember we do have free will. There are ways that we can affect our immediate reality around us in the here and now, instead of waiting for something externally outside of us to manifest, to make us say, hey, I can be happy now. Oh, I feel powerful now because that happened. We have to make small things happen around us. Small things happen. Flash mobs, calling someone, calling the mayor, the same night, the same issue. Writing letters, going back to the pen and paper. Do an email blast. A bunch of people assembling in a peaceful flash mob at a particular place and time to speak a certain message, to get the attention of the news, to wake people up that are in that tube, to let them know there are people concerned about this issue. If there's no phone calls, if there's no interest, if there's no voices speaking opposition to something, there's nothing to stop in its way of rolling that tank straight over us. And of course, the future of our children. We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain from this, from believing that we can change our reality to something positive instead of waiting for the inevitable to happen, or saying something, oh my God, detrimental, that the chemtrails are killing you, or that the FEMA camps are going to get you. Because even if there was some truth in that, by affirming it with your words, you give it more power. And there's ways with our words and thoughts that we have to reverse a lot of negative things that are being done to us this time. This is an important part of the awakening that we're all going through on some level. I'm going through different layers of it real quick right now. And viewing my whole life, viewing all these years on the show, things that were said, but ways the message has to come out somewhat more concise for people that are just now walking into this stuff. They have no background information into some of the stuff. And that's where films come into play, and books. We have to maintain a certain level of literacy in this nation. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of books out there that have not been burned, that are available right now, available at your fingertips, free at the library. Okay, we have other news. We have the economy to go into. And we have a suggestion from Max Kaiser, a possible way to take down J.P. Morgan. And what Max Kaiser is suggesting that, well, it's a viral campaign. Everybody buy silver. Now, in terms of that, whether it would take down J.P. Morgan or not, I don't know. But the idea of buying silver is a lot more rational than someone like you or someone like me, most of us, going out and buying gold. Yes, gold is going up, but do I suggest you go out and invest in gold? If you have the financial means to invest in gold, by all means do it. But diversify your portfolio and never forget about food, because that's going to be a commodity in the future. You see, on average, wheat's gone up 85%. Now, Bill, let's bring up the graphic for Max Kaiser. I'd like to get some silver. I'd like to purchase maybe a couple $100s of silver, I'm thinking. Just to get something going. But he says the point of the crash J.P. Morgan Buy Silver campaign is to force J.P. Morgan to cover its negative bets. There's no way they can cover their liabilities if we buy one silver coin each and demand physical delivery. Again, forget about this paper coin crap. Most of you, I'm sure, know this. They have sold silver contracts that don't exist, he says. They engage in naked short selling. This is a form of counterfeiting. So when you're voting, folks, it's not with the dollars or with the votes. It's with the dollars, with that form of energy, what you're consuming. And those corporations thus take that money, if they've already robbed us and what little money we have, after they've robbed us at the Federal Reserve, but with little, pebbles we have and little coins, we go purchase things, and they take that and they go give that to the government and Congress, and we have more deregulation that works on their behalf instead of our behalf, and they add more regulation to small business. And of course, we're not getting any of that stimulus money. Oh yes, and there's more. There's this 1099. I'm not a big technical guy when it comes to technical aspects, every aspect of the economy, but they want small businesses to start recording all their purchases that are over $600 when they're buying things for their business. some sort of what do you have, what are you buying, what's your inventory, what do you have type of stuff. We have Governor of Michigan warning that cities may go bankrupt. Talking about Michigan here. And basically in a short snapshot, unless we figure out how to get more money, we don't know how to do that, we're looking at bankruptcy. There's only so much money